always adjusting, right? None of us are perfect, but you might not be able to look at yourself from a third person point of view and figure out what's going on. It might be what you're saying, it might be how you're escalating. So all you guys who want help securing more dates, having more sex with the girls that you find attractive.
Drop. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I'm just gonna be waiting for a bit more people to get on here real quick.
Last super chat of the day. Sandy Peter with the 27 Canadian. What if I want to listen back to Tyler LePlay? I don't know who that is. Or Rome Flintstyle. Don't know who that is. I'm noticing a lot of handsome actors have waves. I'm trying to copy them. A lot of handsome actors have waves. What the fuck does that look like you though?
Was good. So this live is brought to you by the $1 million question. This has been a hot topic throughout the years that I finally want to get off, that I want to tell people about. It's, can retention bring back an ex in your life? The idea of retention bringing back an ex in your life seems a bit outplayed, but one thing is it can get you to the point where you're in your zone, in a sense. You're in your zone and you're focused on other things, and that in itself is going to get you more attraction, in a sense. I've had it before where a girl I haven't talked to her in a couple years, and then all of a sudden I'm hanging out with a new chick, I'm dealing with a new girl. The other girl hasn't crossed my mind in years. All of a sudden I see that she's checked my profile. This is what happens when you no longer need them. That is when they come. When you no longer need them, that is when they come. When you no longer need the chick, that is when they come. If you guys want to join the live, click on that link in the description. I'm posting this link in the description. If you want to join the live. Can retention bring back an ex in your life? Can retention bring back an ex in your life? When you no longer need them, that's when it comes. But when you are waiting on them, then it's not going to come. Another thing that you may be able to try is subliminal affirmations. You might, if you want to listen to that, there's plenty on YouTube that you can search up. But if you want to listen to that subliminal affirmations and go to sleep on them, it can pretty much be about anything. It can be about anything pretty much. And that's when you're pretty much able to attract people. You might just cross. This has happened to me multiple times where you can cross the person that you were exclusively thinking about here. So I'm going to be going live pretty soon, pretty more consistently. I want to tell you guys, I'm going to be going live pretty consistently. That I want to tell you guys. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I'm gonna check if my audio works. I'll be checking if my audio works. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Can retention bring back an ex in your life? Maybe, but not necessarily. It really depends where your mindset is at. If your mindset is like you need them and like they're the only thing that you can think about, then probably not. But if your mindset is like you need them and they're the only thing you can think about, then probably not because you have that needy energy. It's about having non-needy energy. Non-needy energy. Having non-needy energy. Having non-needy energy, that is how you're gonna get, pretty much what you want. No. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Let me see if this. Let me respond to this real quick. Checking, testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. If y'all can hear me in the chat, like the stream. If y'all can hear me in the chat. If y'all can hear me in the chat, like. Let me see if this. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Testing, testing, testing. If you can hear me in the chat, if you can hear me, like the chat, like the live stream. If you can hear me, if you can hear me in the like the live. I know there's only two people in here. I don't give a squat diddly do. I need to I want to interact with y'all. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So the the live stream title is can you attract an ex back into your life when you go on retention? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Now, can you attract an ex back into your life when you go on retention? Now, I'm also taking y'all's questions. I'm also taking y'all's questions too. So if y'all want to hop on the live, ask some questions that you're going through, I will give you my best advice. I will give you my best advice. When you go on when you go on meditation for a good amount of time, you have this. Your brain works very well. Meditation is probably one of the best things that you can do for yourself while you're on retention and things like that. It will separate you from the past because there's not going to be a lot of fluff. Everything can be everything can be very very keen. My longest streak probably like at least like 150 days, probably something like that. I've been on no fap for at least going on a year, coming up on a year probably. Retention. But one thing is, I realized that no fap is way better than retention. No fap is, if you're on no fap, good. If you're not watching explicit material, good. But if you do have a girl, if you have a girl and she's a consistent girl, then go ahead. It really depends on what type of time you're on. Because if you hold on for a good amount of time, then I mean, it really depends what you want to do. Because there's guys who are months retention, and they're driving themselves wild to be in a sense, and they're not really getting anything done. This whole thing is for your life to get better. It's self-improvement. These guys who are puffing up their chest saying they're on 12 months plus of retention and their life still looks the same, that's the big problem, because you're actually driving yourself wild if you didn't realize that. If you didn't realize that, just because you're on retention doesn't necessarily mean that all things are going to change in your life. You still have to put in the work. I know guys who aren't on retention, they're getting things done. I know guys who are on retention, they're also getting things done. So it really comes down to, what do you actually do with your free time? What do you do with your time in general? These are the real questions. It doesn't really matter how long of a streak you're on. It matters what you do on your free time. That's the big question. That's how we're gonna see. Yep. You're supposed to. I haven't read Think and Grow Rich in a minute, but I mean I've read it, but it's been a minute. But yeah, you are supposed to transmute that energy, but you're not supposed to just sit on it and say, I'm on so and so days of retention. Why? How come my life isn't changing? And mostly, I mean, people do say it's a cope type of thing. A lot of guys who quote unquote say they're on retention aren't able to attract women. People do say that, and that could be also a very normal thing for guys. Like I say, if you lack social skills, if you're out of shape, but you're saying you're on retention, you might be using that as a cope in a sense. Anyways, you are supposed to transmit the energy. You are supposed to become, use your time wisely when you go on retention. You're supposed to become, your best version. You're supposed to be using your time critically. You have to use your time like it's money. If you are sitting around doing nothing for days on days, you're going to look up in the future and start to realize that, what have I done in the past 2 years that's different than I was doing before? You have to realize people love wasting time. Wasting time is the biggest thing that men do. Just love to waste it, like they have it, and then they tell you these lies. Oh, you have time, you'll figure it out. Like I was on a stream. There's a 16-year-old who's making 11K a month in his medium marketing business for like self improvement companies, but we have dudes who are 30 plus still haven't figured out. Success does not correlate with age. Just because you're older does not necessarily mean you're going to be successful or you have time. It matters of what you do in your free time and what information you use. You guys are doing the same things for the past years. You're doing the same things since you were 3 years ago. You're doing the same things now, and you're gonna think that you're correlating success with that, and that's just not the case. It matters about your mindset. There's a 16-year-old dude who's making 11K. He's helping. He's helping clients he's helping home remodeling companies get more clients, and he's 16 years old. And then you guys are saying, and then we have 30-year plus who still are trying to figure it out, who are still trying to figure it out. Success correlates with your mindset and your action. And it also doesn't necessarily mean just because you're on multiple months of retention, all of a sudden you're gonna be more successful. It literally matters what you do with your free time. It matters what you do with your time in general. It matters what you put your mind to. That's what's gonna actually make more sense than just saying you're on retention for a host amount of days, but you're not getting anything done. There's guys who can't have a 10-minute conversation with a woman but talk about their own retention. They're using it as a cope. You have to draw the line. There has to be a difference. You need to learn social skills. You need to get out the house. If you work a remote job, take time for you to leave the house. You have to leave the house at least once every day. You cannot be sitting in your house like you do guys realize that being alone is more likely actually going to hinder you in terms of success. Like having no relationships with anybody is actually a detriment to your success more than anything, even more than smoking. This is what I was reading. I was reading this. You have to realize this. If you're letting the days go by, you're not interacting with anybody, you're on monk mode, you're actually doing yourself a disservice because you don't know how to interact with people. You have no way to interact with anybody. You have no way to interact with anybody. You have to realize this. Guys, make them excuse. They're going to be focusing on one thing in their life, and that one thing isn't getting them what they need to do. You have to put your energy in all aspects of your life, your finances, your social skills, your spiritual life. All things have to be aligned. You cannot neglect any other type. You have to put focus on all areas of your life. You have to put focus in all areas of your life. I want to wait for a little bit more people to just show up. I'm going to put in, if you guys want to just ask a question, if you have a question that you want to get answered, click on that link. Click on the link in the chat. I will be answering questions. Can semen retention bring back an ex in your life? Can retention bring back an ex in your life? It may be able to, in a sense, but the whole idea behind this is that you're well off, that you're way well off than you were before. Your life is better, your mindset is better, your physique is better, your whole life in general is just way better, and that you do not need the woman anymore. You do not care about her whatsoever. She has completely crossed your mind. She completely does not. There's no relapse in your thinking of her. She does not cross your mind any way, anyhow. And then when you do not need her anyway, that's when they usually come back. That's the idea behind all of this. The idea is you're so well off that you don't actually need her. This is the idea. And now you're so much more better than her. You're so much more better than her. Then that's when she's going to actually want to be more interested in you. That's how guys tried all these different tactics, but how much better are you than her? How much more does she need you than you need her? This is the big mistake, because you can do a lot of different things if you don't need her. If you don't need her, you can get away with anything. You act exactly how you want, do exactly what you want all the time. That's where the attraction is. All these pickup lines, all this BS. You're trying to cater to her. You have to be much better than her in every aspect. And she has to earn you basically. Guys have it all the way misconstrued. They think that they need to do all these different things to try to get her. In reality, you need to maximize yourself up, and she needs to be lucky with you. Let's think about it. For example, I know a girl. Every guy was trying to get with her. She's at the front row of a professional basketball game. She probably knows somebody who's a professional basketball player. I'm not saying to compare yourself to a professional basketball player, but do you really think an NBA guy is hooping and hollering? Maybe they are. Some of them don't realize the status that they've earned. Some people, just because you're good at basketball doesn't necessarily mean you're also going to be good with women. But what I'm trying to say is, she's probably more likely going to want to be with the athlete just because he has built some sort of status for himself. This is the mentality. I didn't say that this is what you need to be, but this is the mentality that you pretty much need to have. You need to be an athlete in her eyes who has. So you pretty much can't care as much about her in a sense. You got to be the person who your best version and have a lot of things going on. This is how you're actually gonna get the attraction. How you're gonna actually get women to actually want you in a sense when you're well off and you have you just have multiple people, multiple girls in your life, and you don't need her as much because you can do all this game, all this pickup. At the end of the day, are you better than her? Who needs each other more? Do you need more? Do you need her more, or does she need you more? That question is pretty much gonna. That question is pretty much gonna be your deciding factor if she stays around in your life or she looks for something better. This is how you have to look at it. This is how you have to look at it. So, one thing that I can leave you off with this is your time. Your time is so valuable because you start realizing when time keeps passing and you're not getting any results in your life, you have to realize, what am I actually doing with my free time? What am I doing with my time in life? Do not waste any time. If there's friends that you kind of need to cut off in a sense to focus on yourself, go ahead and do that. They'll realize eventually. They will realize eventually. You just have to be that person. You cannot waste your time. There's 16-year-olds who are running businesses, owning businesses. I saw a guy in the live stream earlier, and he asked a question talking about, where should I move to? I make $210,000 a year, and he's asking, where should I move to? Like, he has these options now because of the business he's built. And there's other guys who are 10 years older asking all these other different questions. Success has there's no correlation between success and age. Success comes from your knowledge and what you do with your free time, the action that you take in day in and day out, and how big your mind is, how big you can think. This is how success is earned. It has no idea. It does not care how old you are. It doesn't care what skin color you are either. It doesn't care your age, where you're from. It cares about what you do day to day and your mindset and where do you plan on going and how willingness are you going to do that, regardless of what anybody says. That's where the real success comes from. So if you're on retention, go ahead, keep on retention, transmute your energy. Do not watch explicit material for the life of you. That will hinder you. Realize this. There's some things that you just need to do as a man that you have to take care of. There's guys who have these who are making themselves think that it's okay to watch it here and there, relapse here and there. But you have to realize these guys are pretty much if don't take advice from people that you don't want what they have in life, because there's guys, because talk is cheap. People are going to tell you anything. They'll tell you anything, especially if they don't have the results for themselves. If they don't have the results for themselves, they're going to tell you anything. So you might as well start listening to people you actually have, where you can see, hey, this guy has made something of himself. So let's see what he's about. This is how you have to think. Be selfish with who you listen to, especially if they haven't done exactly what you want to do. Anybody can say a bag of words. Anybody can say words. You have to realize who do you actually want to listen to? So I am going to be putting a link if you want to join the live stream. I'm also, if you guys, like I said, if you have questions, don't, you have to realize that a lot of girls, like I said, girls are like, I'll give you a small example of what happened today. I was at the gym, and one thing is physique, especially when it comes to trying to have leverage in the dating game, leverage in the dating market. You do need to be aesthetically pleasing in a sense where you're someone that's going to get a lot of attention. Yeah, that can be a sense. I mean, they do, sure. If you're on a streak like that, and girls may be going crazy, they may smell it. But at the end of the day, are you when you do get these choosing signals, are you approaching, like, for an example, like, retention isn't just so, oh, I'm going to get all this woman attraction, and then all of a sudden I'm not going to talk to any of the girls, and I'm just going to go about my day. Sure, you can do that, but you're not really solving any problems. A lot of guys, like I said before, they use it as cope. They have lack of social skills. If you have lack of social skills, how are you actually going to get the woman that you want? You have to realize this. So, yeah, especially if you are on like 5 months plus, in a sense, your brain is going to think, what do I need to do to get my, if you make rules for yourself, nope, no PMO, what am I going to do to actually get the attraction that I want? Because, like I said, it's a biological urge for us men to procreate, to get with women. So if you're going for as long as streaks as that is, maybe even 5 months, pretty sooner or later, something's going to happen where you're going to be attracting woman attention just because it's biological. You kind of need it. It's to procreate. This I can tell you because this has happened to me recently. I was on a streak for that long, and then eventually there was a girl that I matched with, and now we're still like friends and stuff. But if it was not for that, then that's not, at the end of the day, like, if you continue to work out, physically work out, go on retention, work on your purpose, make your your lifestyle somewhat interesting, have a dating profile, things like that, you're pretty much gonna get matched with someone. One thing I also realized is, for some reason, when I'm on retention and no fap for a while, and I'm just going to the gym and I come back from the gym, my 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 dating apps, I match with someone pretty consistently for some reason. It's having high masculine energy. If you literally, working out changed my life. Once you work out consistently, and you're on retention, you're not watching these sites and stuff like that. You're going to attract someone on your phone. Someone's going to is going to match with you, and then for some odd reason, they're wanting to meet with you. This is some really this is pretty true. If you're on a long streak of retention, you're not fapping, but you're working out consistently. Go to the gym at least 4 to 5 days a week. You're working out consistently. You can feel the urges in you, and you have a somewhat decent dating profile. Your profile is decently, like, it's not like 95% of guys who can't put an aesthetically looking profile together. You have a legit profile. You're going to match with someone, and for some odd reason, they definitely want to get with you. This is because the universe, the Most High, goes. There's invisible entities, the Most High. Let's call it universal energies, and they know this is urges. They know that these things happen, and this is your biological urge to procreate. You're going to the universal prism is going to assign you a woman, in a sense, when you go on these streaks and you're super focused on your life. It's masculine energy. Masculine energy is powerful. Masculine energy will attract to you the feminine energy. You have to realize this. You got to realize this. Just today, when I was at the gym, there was this girl who He's like, "Are you using this?" Because I was working out. I was doing these hanging leg raises, and I was working out. And then she was like, "Are you using this?" And I obviously wasn't using it, but she just asked me a question, and then I basically helped her put some sort of thing in because she couldn't carry it. And then we started a conversation just right there. You have to make yourself. You have to focus on your workout. Focus on yourself. You're going to get the attraction that you're looking for. If you are looking for attraction, it's biological. It's universal. You have to realize there's universal laws. Sooner or later, I'm going to post on my community like just universal laws, and then you guys can look at it one by one to see like how this correlates with your day to day, because everybody thinks that they're separate from their desires. Everyone thinks that they're doing this all alone. In reality, you're actually not alone. There's invisible entities, the most high, invisible entities, knowing exactly what you're going through and willing to help. You just have to let them do it, and it's easy at that point. Let go. You are connected to nature. You are part of nature. Is friendly to your plants. Keep it in mind that this is correct. All the things that you're struggling with can be solved. There is an enforcer, invisible enforcer, who is helping you, who knows exactly what you're going through, exactly all the things that you need. You just have to let him help you. A lot of people think they're at this alone. There's no way, no how that you are at this alone. This is where people struggle. If you think you're at it alone, you're obviously going to struggle because all of these problems are way too big for you. All of these problems are too big. You might think these problems are too big for you. You already know that there is an invincible deity. There's an invisible deity who is helping you in your problems. You just have to let him help you. There's invisible entities who is helping you in your life. You just have to let them help you. So the bottom line is, can retention bring back an ex in your life? In a sense, retention can help you, but you would just not be focused if it's going to help you or not. These are some of the things that you have to realize. I did edit, Mr. D. You have to realize I did edit the parts and it was taking a long time to edit. But also you have to realize if you're going to be on the you have to realize if you're going to be on a live stream and you're going to talk, on the internet, you have to realize that any of these things can be copied regardless if they're deleted. You have to keep that in mind before you join the live stream. You can't depend on me to think that you're going to just straight up do this. And is it like the people that you're talking about, do they even look at my channel? Is that something that happens? So anyways, you have to realize that self-improvement is going to help. I mean, it's going to tremendously help you in the aspects of your life that you need it to help you, but you cannot waste your time. You can't waste your time. You keep the guys waste their time way too much. You have 24 hours. You sleep for at least 8 hours of the day. You're probably at work for probably another 8 hours. That's probably, so you pretty much only have another, let's say, 8 hours in a sense to actually do the things that you really want to do. Let's think about it. If you wake up, if you go to work for 8 hours and you come back, let's say home at like 5, and you want to get 8 hours, you probably pretty much have like 4 to 5 hours after you come back from work to do the things that you actually want to do with your life. So you cannot waste time. If you waste time, you're going to be mad at yourself in the future, realizing you have no tangible results. And this is why people get angry, because they have no tangible results. So these are some of the things you have to realize. Can retention bring back an ex into your life? The problem is your mindset. Your problem is the mindset. Arthur, you seem not take this seriously, and this is a violation of privacy. Do you not understand that? Bro. guys, please keep in mind if you do plan on going on, a live stream, that, and you don't want people to be, you don't want people to be, you don't want someone to actually like put it on their YouTube channel. Think about it. Think about this guy's mindset right now. He goes on a public live stream, and then all of a sudden he seems that the person who posted the live stream, he's telling him to edit out the parts when the person tried to do it and things aren't happening. You got to realize this. You can't depend on people, especially you can't depend on people to do stuff for you regardless of what happens. And if you have to keep in mind that if you're going to be on a live stream, that it's a public internet, it's a public channel. Anybody can see it, anything at any time, even if it is deleted. So this is what happens. If you do plan on going on live stream, please keep in mind that it is a public channel. There's this guy who was talking to me about how he wants some of the things to be edited. Some of the things to be edited when he needed to know before that he got on the live stream that a lot of the things that he says is going to be published. These are the things that you have to realize. If you make the decision to actually get on the live stream, these are some of the things that's going to happen. He's talking about privacy. This is a public channel. I've been posting stuff on this channel for the past plus multiple years. You can't cater to you because you wanted to do something one time and all of a sudden you don't want to do it. You didn't sign any contract either. Realize this. There's this guy named Mr. D. Who's on this YouTube channel. He's mad because he doesn't want his siblings, his family members or something to know that he does PMO or something like that. In all likelihood, I'm not even sure if they even know my channel enough to actually watch the whole 2-hour video and then even if they do see the channel, like, what are they gonna say? Because he was on my live stream earlier, like maybe some days ago. He was on my live stream earlier. So anyways, make sure you use your time wisely. People are way too content with mediocrity. You have to use your time wisely. You have to use your time wisely as a man. You're going to be mad at yourself in the next months if the things that you wanted to happen didn't happen because you were too lazy to do anything. You weren't taking your time wisely. You were feeding into distraction. You're feeding into distraction. These are some of the things you have to realize as a man. Because when you're on your deathbed, no one's going to... The worst thing that you can think about is regret. Either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Pain of discipline or the pain of regret. These are some of the things you have to realize when you're going through life. A lot of people waste their time. They never get the things that they want because, one, they're too timid to try, or two, they're too comfortable in their own life and they're never actually getting anywhere in life. These are some of the things that you have to realize. These are some of the things that you have to realize. So anyways, kind of... If, like I said, you can go on 5 months of retention. More likely than not, you are going to be attracting. You probably will attract someone, but that necessarily just, there's going to be some things that are added to you. Not necessarily just because you're on 5 months on retention doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to get woman attraction. I know guys who have been on retention for years and they're saying nothing has happened to them. Well, no. Well, of course, nothing has happened. You can't just be on retention and all of a sudden think that you're going to get all the things that you want in life. You actually have to put in action, and you actually have to be the person that people want to do business. If you're going on retention and you want to get a job, you have to be the person that a person would actually want to hire. If you want woman attraction, you have to be a man that a woman would be attracted to. If you have to put in more work than just going on retention. You can transmute the energy. You can feel better about yourself on retention, but not necessarily just because you're on retention doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to have woman attraction. This is not the case. A lot of guys make this make these conclusions way too quickly. Just because they're on retention, they just think, "Oh, I'm going to get all this attraction from women," and that necessarily isn't the case. You have to be an attractive guy. You have to be an attractive guy. You have to look good. You have to. Your physique has to be on point if you want it to be attractive to women. Generally speaking, in an objective way, you have to play the part. You can't just be sitting in your room all day thinking you're going to get all this attraction just because you're on semen retention for months on end. These are some of the things you have to realize. Now, can retention help you? It can definitely help you, especially if you're not fapping. It can definitely help you. You can definitely be someone who's helped, but in a sense, but that's not necessarily everything that's going to help you. It might benefit you in a sense, but you have to still be putting in the work. You have to put in the work. You gotta put in the work. You cannot waste your time. It takes work. It takes work to change your life. It takes work to change your life. So if you want to get on this live stream, make sure you click on the link. Click on the link. So let me tell you guys about what happened. There's this guy who was on my live stream a couple of days ago, and he basically messaged me saying that he wanted the parts where he was included in his live stream to be edited out. And I try to edit it out because he also didn't want his siblings maybe to run across my channel to see that he did PMO or something like that. And honestly, the likelihood of that happening probably is second to none because, first of all, the live stream is 2 hours. Like, they really have to know who I am and they really have to like me to watch that whole entire thing. And even if that does happen, if that part comes across, you have to realize that before you get on a live stream that this is a public live stream and it's going to be posted because the other one was posted. These are some of the things you have to realize. Just because this guy goes on this live stream one time, all of a sudden he thinks that he's entitled to stuff. And that just isn't the case. If you make a decision to go on the live stream, realize that a lot of these things, people can watch it at any time, even if it is deleted. These are some of the things you have to realize. So anyways, can retention bring back an ex in your life? It possibly can. There was this one girl who I was talking to a couple years ago. All of a sudden, I'm talking to a different girl. All of a sudden, the girl that I was talking to about a couple years ago, all of a sudden she starts to check my profile when she hasn't done that in the past 2 years. It only happens when you are super detached. This is how the law of attraction works. When you no longer need the thing, that's when you get the thing. When you are super out of the thing, you're super unfocused on the thing, that's when the thing comes. That is when the thing comes. But guys think that, oh, if I'm just going to continue to manifest her. You have to be completely detached from the person. You have to be completely detached from the person. You can no longer think that you want her, even need her. Because the only way women really act like how they want to act, where they're super attracted to you, is when there's a big difference, a significant difference between your status and her status, who you are and who she is. If girls think that they're better than you, or if they think that they're even at the same level, the more likely than not, they may not be attracted to you. But if there's the best way to get her to treat you exactly how you want her to treat you is there to be a big significance in SMV. Is there to be a significant difference in who she thinks you are and who you think she is? These are some of the things that you have to realize. Guys are way too whipped. They're not doing enough, and all of a sudden they want all these different things. There's this guy who was on a live stream earlier who was talking about I don't have the attraction that I want from women, but in a sense he's just not really the guy. He wasn't the guy. He was his physique wasn't really there. He was just average in terms of how he looked. And the guy on the live stream said that he was delusional. You cannot be delusional like some of these women. You have to realize that. You have to put it in, put in the sense that you have to look at your life objectively. What a person, especially when women usually have more options than men, are you the person that a woman would actually want to be with for a long term, even if you think that you are? That necessarily doesn't mean that's the truth. She has to be someone that she thinks that she can be with. And you have to be the guy. You have to come up. That's why self-improvement as a man is your superpower. Having all these different things is going to elevate you in a sense, and that's going to make you more attractive in a woman's eyes because when that happens, then she no longer needs you. Yo, Mr. D, like, you're on a public live stream, bro. Like, if you want to do that, go ahead. But because of the way you're acting, in a sense, then I can bring you back on the live stream if you want. But if you're going to be on a live stream and you think that your siblings are going to watch my channel and you're assuming that you're doing PMO, then maybe you have other problems. But I'm going to leave that at that. I don't want to get this into this big argument. But if you want to get on the live stream, then go ahead. Plus, you putting all this on my channel is not making it look good. I want other people to actually look at it, not just you. So I can hide you. I can. It really depends. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you, and because of your approach, I'm actually not even going to entertain this any further, just because of how you're acting, in a sense. You're messing up the vibe. I don't want this to be a negative thing. I'm on here because I want to, not because it's not about you, buddy. If you want to get on the live stream, go ahead and get on the live stream. I put on the link, but you're not going to mess up the live stream just because you have some things that you didn't think over before you started to do it, buddy. I just find it funny how people think that the whole world revolves around them. I get on a public guy's live stream, all of a sudden he's blowing out my phone and stuff like that just because he didn't like one thing that happened for a 10-15 minute conversation, knowing well that this is a public channel and this is a public live stream, and it's going to be posted because the other one was posted, but he didn't want to do the due diligence. He just thinks that everything works out in his favor just because. This is another thought process that guys have to realize. One, the world doesn't revolve around you. Just because you want something doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to happen just because you ask for it. These are some of the lessons you learn when you're a child. Just because you want something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it. I had many times where I wanted something and I never got it. But as you grow older, you start to realize that, and then you start to make stuff for yourself because you finally can. Just because you want the cookie in the jar doesn't mean the cookie is going to be and you're going to get the cookie. Just because you want the girl doesn't necessarily mean the girl's going to want you back. I've had this happen many times. When you go through turmoil as a guy, that's how you become a better version of yourself. There was this girl back in college, and I could tell you all about it. This is where your first hint of female nature comes from. When you want the girl, but the girl isn't showing you any interest back, if you want the girl and the girl isn't showing you any interest back, that's your first hint of female nature. Because you start to realize if you want something and you're not getting it, then there's a big problem. That changes you as a man. These are some of the things that you have to go through in order to realize what it is to be a man. If you want something, it's not, and then necessarily doesn't happen. That actually gives you more fuel in a sense, because now you start to realize, what can I do to make myself, come up, so I can be the person who gets what he wants. This is a lot of the reason why a lot of guys don't get anywhere, because they don't have this mindset. They have the mindset they have is that they're just going to whine and complain about not getting the things that they want, and someone's going to just come out of the sky and give them what they want, and that's not how life works. That's not how that's not how this that's not how life works. Avoid dating black women. It's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to come to that. At the end of the day, it is just a race, and you can't just put an attitude based on a race. It really just comes down to what she thinks of you, because even a girl of different race can treat you exactly how you don't want to be treated, just because of how she thinks of you. It's about how she thinks of you, not just about race. These are some of the things you have to realize. These are some of the things that you have to realize. So, like I said before, you can't just get just some of the things that you want. You just necessarily just can't have them. You don't have a fairy who's going to grant you every wish instantly as you want them. If life was like that, then everybody would have exactly what they want. There would be no struggle, and we would, be who we'd want. So the bottom line is, if you want to go on the live stream and you're going to be mad because I posted something that you probably already knew was going to get posted, and now you're blowing up my socials for me to edit it out. That sounds like a you problem, because you should have known, because this is a public channel. This is a public live stream. I publicly post things on the internet literally every week. So if you think I can just cater to you just because you didn't want something to be in there, if that was really the case, then why would you have gone on in the first place? These are some of the things that I don't understand about men. These are some of the things I don't understand about guys. They want something, they don't want something, and then all of a sudden they're mad that something happened, especially when they knew it probably might happen, but they just wanted to be on it. Anyways, there's a guy who was saying that he was on 5 months of retention. And if you're going to be on 5 months of retention, what else are you doing with your life? I mean, going on 5 months of retention is a good thing in a sense, but what else have you accomplished on those 5 months? Because like I said, you can be on 5 months of retention. You can be on multiple years of retention. There's this guy who commented on one of my videos, "Oh, I've been on retention for so long. This is a lie. Nothing's happening." Well, yeah, like you have to put in action for the things that you want. If you're talking about women attraction, you're going to have to put some action behind it. If you're talking about finances, you're going to have to put some action behind it. There's different things that you have to put your action on if you actually want results. Just because you're on retention doesn't necessarily mean you're still entitled to things. Not at all. Not at all. You have to put in. There has to be a game plan, and there has to be some action behind the things that you want. That's the only way you're actually going to get things in life. But if you're just thinking that you can sit on your butt and go on semen retention for however long that you want, and you're still entitled to all the things that you want, then you are mistaken, because that is not the truth. You might as well become delusional, because that's just not the case. These are some of the things that you have to realize. So I'm gonna wait for this one guy to get on the live stream if he's still gonna get on that. If other than that, I was only planning on being on the stream for at least probably under an hour. So I'll probably wait if he gets on that. But at the same time, you have to put in some action. The whole gist of this conversation is you have to put some action behind the things that you want. If you don't If you don't put the action behind the things that you want, then it's not going to work out for you. By no matter how many days of retention you're on. You can be on 75 months and your life can still look the same because you're not putting any action. It comes down to action. Action without faith without works is dead, and works without faith is dead. You have to have faith, and you also have to have action. I'm going to try to keep this stream under an hour. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour. I'll probably be on this for the next 5 minutes. I'm trying to keep this. Mr. D, if you want to get on the live stream, it's gonna be you have 4 to 5 minutes before I leave for the night because I have other things to do. I need to go to sleep. So these are some of the things you have to realize. Just because you want something doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it. You can want. I remember I want all these things, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm getting all the things that I want. I can put some action behind the things that I want to actually get the things that I want for myself. But sitting around moping and instantly getting gratified is just not going to help you out. Putting no research behind things and thinking all of a sudden you're entitled to things is also not going to help you out. Doing nothing different but wanting something a different result is not going to help you out. That is the definition of insanity. I know people who want all of these things. They want that, they want this, they want this, they want that, they want the girl, they want the body, they want the finances, but they're putting no action behind anything, and this is why they're staying the same. Regardless of how many days of retention that they're on. It does seem like the retention community does think that, retention is this superpower, magical superpower that it's all of a sudden it's just going to wave your hands and then you're going to get the things that you want without putting any action on it. And that is just not the case. That is not the case. You have to put the action. There has to be action. Nobody wants to hear about the action. Everybody just wants the instantly gratified action. I can know that because I've had it. People always want things that they're not willing to work for. This guy also told me that he sent me a Snapchat. I can't even see his snap because I don't think he's one of my friends. I didn't even know who he was until the other day. So like I said, I'm probably going to be on here probably for the next couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, depending on if there's any more people that show up. If that doesn't happen, then I'm going to be signing off. I have some other things to do. I did recently move to a new apartment, which is definitely something that every man should strive for if they haven't already. It is the best when you're able to do the things that you want to do at any given time without having any consideration. Okay, we're gonna have Mr. D on the line for. We're gonna have a live guest on this channel. We're gonna have a live guest on the channel on the live stream. Another thing that I wanted to side note. So the brand Temu and the brand Amazon they're competing with each other. Temu is coming up, and apparently 15% of U.S. consumers use Temu, which is a pretty crazy statistic. Like that just became relevant. I didn't hear about it until like some months ago. So the fact that it's like gaining this rapidness just goes to show that if you're doing the same thing for over and over again, All right, let's see this. Yo, Mr. D, I don't see you. Yo, Mr. D, don't give me like commands, bro. Like this isn't like I don't have to do anything that you tell me, bro. This isn't like don't even start, please. There's a lot of people who like think they have authority when they actually don't. And also, I'm on StreamYard right now and I don't see you. So please don't give me commands. Please don't think that you're entitled for me to do actually anything. You can go ahead and file any report anytime. Go ahead and do it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything's going to change. Especially now how you're acting, because you have to realize I'm a busy person. Just because that you told me to do something doesn't necessarily mean I have to do anything. Because you're the one who decided to do this. I never signed a contract with you telling you to get on anything. I don't have to do anything that you tell me. You have to realize that. So please take it down a notch. Please take it down a notch. Like I said before, I know examples of all these type of people. Like you have to also realize people sleep on meditation. Oh, I'm not gonna meditate. There's no problem. There's no point. Okay, says that. Okay, and then the person who meditates, who's been meditating for the past 3 to 5 years, has this high consciousness in a sense where he pretty much has this high emotional intelligence where he can pretty much get people to one like him, get them to do what they want, and just kind of knows what people are thinking when, especially when they don't say it. These are some of the things that you're missing when you decide to not meditate. You also decide when you decide to not work out, you're actually missing on extra brain dichotomy in your brain. If you decide to not work out, it's a proven fact. You can search it up that your brain actually works less if you don't work out. Like your brain actually works way more. It circulates way more if you decide to work out. Some of these things that you have to realize. But people want to sleep on meditation. People want to sleep on working out. People also don't want to pray. People just want to skip the things that they have to do and then realize why they're in the same position because they don't do the small things. And in order to get the big things, you have to do the small things. But you're not doing the small things. How are you supposed to get the big things? But you're not getting the big things because you're not doing the small things because you think the small things don't matter when in reality the small things is the only thing that matters. That's what happens. Are we gonna add Mr. D on the channel? We're gonna add Mr. D. All right, all right. How you doing? Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. All right, guys. We're gonna add him on the channel real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yep. How you doing? Let's see.
Obviously, I'm not happy with what you did.
Well, before you go on, let me just put two and two together. First of all, you decided to get on a live stream that was public to the channel, and second of all, there was already a public. It was already a one that was posted before, so it was already everything was already public. So knowing this, you got into this channel, and then all of a sudden, because I posted it, even if regardless if you didn't know it or not, these are some of the things that you have to realize before you make a decision to do something like this. This is the public internet; anybody can see anything at any time. Even though I do edit it, which I did try to edit some of the things out, it still wasn't editing. So these are some of the things you have to realize before you wanna do some of these things.
Okay, so I don't want to like talk over each other. So you're finished. Can I get my part now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I thought this is very, very rude of you to actually, and very unprofessional of you to first tell me that you edited it. You said you've done it already, which you didn't. Now, if I didn't come live to you, because look, time is about 3:15 in London. You know what? Because I've texted you, I've emailed you, I wrote on your comment section on your YouTube channel, and it's still you didn't respond to me since Sunday, and that's really, really bad. Okay, right? I'm not. I came to your channel. I'm one of your subscribers. If I told you I have a concern about my cousins, my family members might really, by chance find out about this channel because they are into semen retention, and you are one of the forefronts of semen retention on YouTube, right? What's wrong with that? That's number one. The other thing is, I did not assume, because I was really working you out, like helping you out to solve this problem on that day, right? If I knew that you're gonna post one, I thought it was gonna be just a preview. If I knew you're gonna post it, I wouldn't have really been on it. So it was just a given. It wasn't like, oh, you should know because this is a public channel. It's not as simple as that. And also, what really bothers me was the way you took it lightly. You're like, oh, this is, no one's gonna discover it. You're just taking things very lightly. Why is that? Can you respect? It's not like I'm everything is focused on me, and the way you've been framing the conversation. Oh, I know this kind of guys. These people are self-focused. We're so self-focused about me being concerned about my privacy.
Well, you have to realize that, first of all, like, if you do like this is a YouTube channel. Even if you do comments, I'm not entitled to like anything. You can go ahead, create a concern, but that's what I want to put out in the first place. Just because you put some sort of thing in the comment about something you didn't like doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just because you're doing that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm a nice guy, so I'm gonna look at your thing. And yesterday, I even went on. I even edited. I even tried to edit the parts out. And you can still see there's a big difference between how it was before and how it is now. So just because I'm a nice guy, this is because I'm a nice guy. I will have your concern. I do have your concern, and I will edit it out. By the end of the day, you can't just expect me to just do things instantly because I have things to do. And just because you comment on something and you added me on Snapchat, which I didn't even see your message on Snapchat, it doesn't mean that anything's gonna happen.
Why you didn't reply to me?
I told you, just because you comment on something doesn't necessarily mean anything's gonna happen.
Why?
This is a YouTube channel. You're not the only person that I'm talking to.
Okay, listen. I think you know what. This is very unexpected, and I'm really shocked by your behavior. But anyway, listen. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
How do you expect this to happen so quickly?
You know, it's kind of legal action, right? Okay,
go ahead and do everything that you need to do that you think is right.
Yeah.
What?
If you don't delete it, right? I live in London. Okay, it's just around a corner from the Shoreditch area. If you don't delete it within 24 hours, I'm not gonna say anything online. Okay, I'm gonna give you 24 hours to delete all my part. If not, I'm gonna take a legal action against you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Respect law to everybody.
I also don't like the way you're acting right now. Or in general, because first of all, like, this isn't you're not my fairy godmother. Like, this isn't something instant. Just because you comment on something doesn't mean anything's gonna happen.
You're telling me don't take command. I just instruct you to click on the link online. And you said to me, don't tell me what to do. Why are you so sensitive about this?
Me sensitive? It seems like you're the one who's sensitive about it.
Well, I am sensitive about this because it's my privacy, obviously.
Okay, but you're on a public live stream on the public internet. If that was such a concern, you wouldn't have gone on in the first place. That's the thing that I'm not understanding. This is a public live stream. I'm a public YouTuber. This is a public subscription. Even this right here is public. Anybody can see it at any time.
Listen, you're a YouTuber. You should know the principles, okay? There's something called consent, okay? If I didn't know, why would I come to you live if I want to delete it afterwards? Did you ask yourself?
You said you were on the other live stream and it was publicly posted. This is a public live stream, okay?
This is not public live. This
is a public live stream, meaning anybody at any time can watch this. So the fact that you want me to delete your part doesn't necessarily make that much sense. Because there's other people who are on YouTube. There are other people who do the same thing.
Doesn't make sense. How does it not make sense?
Is your channel a public channel? This is public. If it was private, then it wouldn't make it. But this is
not yours. It's not yours. Not your channel, Arthur.
Yes, this is a public channel. I'm gonna be logging off soon because I have things to do. But I'm just trying to tell you that this is a public channel, meaning anything can publicly be put on the public internet. This is a public channel.
my time as well. Are you gonna delete it or no?
Well, now I have to reconsider because first of all, I just don't like your attitude right now.
Because you lied to me. That's why.
I didn't lie to you.
You lied to me. You said to me you're working on it. That's what you said.
That's what I did say, and I was working on it. It takes time for it to edit out.
I've looked at it. You didn't delete it.
There are some parts that are edited out, but that's not all of it happened. And second of all, I don't like your approach of this at all. Like, first of all, like you should have known this.
You're angry about what you did to me? You didn't listen. I sent you a message. I emailed you.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. You can email Jeff Bezos and he's not going to respond to you. That doesn't mean anything. You can email any other YouTuber. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to respond to you.
Is that your logic? That I shouldn't be really angry about this?
Yeah, because it's your fault.
Oh, it's my fault. Okay, listen.
You don't even have to wait 24 hours. I actually want to see what you can do.
And by the way,
do the legal action thing that you're telling me about. See if you're actually talking about.
That's not the disorder. Anyway, listen. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 24 hours.
No, you don't even have to give me 24 hours because I can tell you that I won't do it just because of how you're acting.
All right.
Well, that was. Oh my God. You guys have to realize that just because someone tells you to do something, especially if it comes from the public YouTuber, doesn't necessarily mean things are going to happen just because you want them to happen. Anyways, also if you come at me with some sort of approach where you want me to do something for you, or coming in a very nonsense way, then that's actually going to make me not do the things that you want me to do. Because if you would have came in a different approach, if you also were to realize this is a public YouTube channel and this is very public, anybody can see anything at any time, you probably wouldn't be trying to change things that are probably not going to change, especially if you're coming and approach as if you're some sort of authoritative dude. I barely know the guy, but I can already tell that no one's going to tell me what I can and can't do on my channel. And you should have realized that since this is a public channel and there's public people, that things aren't automatically just going to get solved just because you want them to. These are what you have to realize. So anyways, I was talking about Temu and Amazon. Temu is actually coming up in terms of like competing with Amazon, which would be crazy. It would be crazy if Temu like overtook Amazon. That's something that is wild because Amazon's been, at the top for a very long time. So if that actually happened, that starts to realize anything can happen. If Temu can get to the point where it's like competing with Amazon, actually beating Amazon in terms of like revenue sharing and stuff like that, that means that pretty much you can do whatever you pretty much put your mind to, because that is unheard of. Now, there is some legal things with Temu that this is why, because first of all, they sell stuff very, very, very cheap. Like I've ordered some things off Temu before, and it's a very, some of the things you actually may not even get. I didn't even hear about Temu until someone else told me about it, because they were asking where do you get this, where do you get this. I didn't realize that thing existed until recently, and I went on the website and I started to realize how come all of these things are so super cheap. Like something must be. It's a Chinese wholesaler, so something must not be adding up. But anyways, guys, if you do plan on getting on a live stream, if you plan on getting someone's live stream, like I said, if you were, for example, if I was planning on getting on a live stream on someone else's live stream, knowing it's a public channel, knowing necessarily that they have things to do, and if I for some reason didn't want them to edit or add things out, would I have still be on there? Would I still, be trying to get some things off? I already know that after I make the decision to get on someone's channel, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do what I tell them just because. These are some of the things that you have to realize. Like, bro, like if you're getting on someone's live stream and you're talking about consent and privacy, like, bro, like This is a edited. This is a public YouTube channel. All things are going to be recorded. All things are going to be posted on the internet. What do you think? Just because you don't want someone to tell you something about semen retention, now all of a sudden they're going to have your requests seen. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you. But anyways, I will be making a YouTube video, and hopefully I'm going to be doing that pretty consistently. But anyways, can semen retention attract to you an ex-lover? It can, if you don't care about her anymore, and she sees you that you've leveled up enough where the contrast between you guys are very different. Because women always are looking to date up. They're always looking to date the person that is tremendously better than them. So once you become that guy, sure, they're going to be a lot attracted to you, especially if she's your ex or something. But other than that, that isn't necessarily the case. All right, it's like I'm gonna be going on sleep soon because it doesn't seem there's anybody left on this live stream. I'll be going live pretty consistently. I'll try to go earlier so more people can get on. But other than that, there doesn't seem like there's anybody else here. Peace. Deuces.